Okay, here we have Mr. Jim Piercey. Mr. Piercey is about a 15 to 16 handicap index. Looking to hopefully get back to being kind of that low 80s player that he knows he's capable of. He had his handicap at one point as low as a 6.5 and kind of took some lessons, got a little bit steered off track, and this past year, unfortunately, had some issues personally where he just wasn't able to practice as much, and now he's back. He wants to kind of really get back into the game a little bit, and so was looking just for some kind of cleanup, some tune-ups, and see what he needs to do just to get a little bit of a better ball striker and have a lot more control of the golf ball. He also did purchase some new clubs. He went to Club Champion, got fully fit for some really beautiful irons, and for the longest time was playing these hybrid irons. It's like Cleveland launcher style, and while it was effective, it kind of developed some bad habits where he wasn't really using his body effectively, and the hands were creating a lot of the saving, and the club was kind of doing the work. So while it was effective, it just didn't have a lot of power, a lot of speed on it, and now he's getting a little bit older. We're looking to kind of achieve and return that power back, hopefully with some better clubs, get a little bit better control of his ball flight overall. So the left one was the first swing, one of the first videos I took. This is with one of his fairway woods. And you can see very narrow stance. The turn is actually very pivoted, reverse pivot over his front leg. Sets the club, starts to try to fire, but now the face is starting to open up a lot, so then he has to save it at the bottom with some excess release, and thus the finish, right? So what we'll do is we'll draw a couple lines right here in his initial starting setup. You can see at the top, really clears a big gap in his right hip. So a lot of leaning into the golf ball, then having to somehow find it, which leads to that little excess release. So we'll just stop right about there. Okay. Now we go to the left, or to the right rather. This was an improved motion. We talked about widening the setup, getting a little bit more athletic in his posture. You can see the hand position now is a lot better from where it was to where it got to. And then we talked about feeling a little extra pivot at the top and really setting that club almost a little bit behind him, kind of in line with his trail arm, with his right arm. And in turn of doing that, oh, I realized we hadn't started the motion there. Let's go. There we go. That's pretty good there. And by doing that, you can see initially almost a little lead off there. And now at the top, we've created a whole new position, right? So now, as far as the turn now, he's still turning in the barrel a little bit, but the position is a lot more stacked, right? So the weight is a lot more positioned in this area, whereas over here it's positioned more in here. In fact, even a little forward to that. And so now, as he starts to transfer, he's actually staying over the golf ball a little bit more. Still a little bit of a lean, but better. And then, yes, the club is bowing backwards a little bit, but the hands are a little more forward. And thus the release is a little bit better through impact. So again, talked about more athletic setup, updating the pivot, getting a little bit deeper, setting that club in a much better position at the top, which kind of gets us from here, which is good, to there, which is no bueno.